O Show. This is the Big 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 O Show. This is...
Welcome to Caneswear.
New store, new items, same great experience. Family owned and operated since 2010, Caneswear has the latest merchandise from the Miami Hurricanes, Miami Dolphins, Florida Panthers, InterMiamiCF, and more. Come visit us at our store in Davie on University Drive, just south of 595, or online at caneswear.com. Caneswear, the spot Miami fans shop.
For over 16 years, EJDconstruction.com has provided South Florida residents quality craftsmanship, accurate project management, and exceptional service. That's why EJDconstruction.com is an A-rated member of Angie's List and the Better Business Bureau. When you're looking for the right custom home builder for additions or home remodeling, please call my friend Eric at 305-433-4843. That's 305-433-4843 for EJDconstruction.com.
Oh, I think I know what this is. Houston, we have a package. Hello?
No matter where you are, the Sloman Shield Home Security System guards your home. With next-gen perimeter protection, 24/7 monitoring, and interior motion sensing. And right now, get a free Sloman Shield security system and doorbell camera, all professionally installed, for free.
Shield your world, the Sloman Shield.
When presenting an award to an employee, athlete, executive, or fantasy GM, make sure you call Orvieto's Awards and More. For 35 years, these custom award specialists have been providing plaques, trophies, custom framing, while providing state-of-the-art laser and computerized engraving, UV printing, and glass crystal etching. They do all their engraving and printing in-house for quality control. Call Charles at 305-949-8098 or visit them at orvietosawards.com. Orvieto's Awards and More, where recognition is rewarding. Welton Rayom has more than 62 years of litigation experience handling insurance disputes. They're committed to resolving even the toughest insurance claims quickly. Call them for a free consultation. 954-966-4646. At Welton Rayom, they don't get paid unless you win. Property damage claims to your home, business, or condo as a result of a hurricane. Welton Rayom can help. Water, mold, fire, smoke damage, Welton Rayom can help. Call 954-966-4646. Statements or beliefs expressed on the following program by the host, guests, or callers are not necessarily the opinions of FantasyAccess.com, Media Group Inc., ownership, management, sponsors, or website. When it comes to South Florida sports teams, very few in the media have witnessed, lived, and covered it like the Big O. Let's start the program dedicated to your favorite South Florida teams with a passion that's unmatched. The Big O Radio Show is on. Here's the Big O.
All right. Good 66,000 morning. Yeah, baby. Yeah. Oh, it's 66,000 right now for Bitcoin. Woo! The record is 68.8. Should be breaking it. Maybe it'll break it during the show. Who knows? It's just one of those things. And everybody taking that crypto ride with us. Boy, your bags, your back's breaking. Your bags are just like exploding. It's amazing. Buddy of mine just got in a couple months ago. He sent me a text and he goes, I'm up like 67%. And he's only been in for a couple months. So imagine the rest of us that like took advantage of 16 and 18 and 20 and all that. So it is it's nice, man. It's nice. It's one of those things that just, it's funny. We don't get too many of those idiots anymore, right? It's just, Bitcoin's a scam. I love those people. It's by the way, I have fun against those people, the idiots that say, oh, it's a scam or whatever. I just want you to know that when you tell somebody it's a scam, you're telling them, hey, like, okay, I invested in Bitcoin. And then you say, oh, it's a scam. So you're basically telling the person that put their money, you're stupid because you invested in a scam. They don't realize that part. So when I hammer them continuously, by the way, because I'm not going to let up on the idiots, as it continues, I'll keep reminding them how stupid they are. Just like I remind 66,000, like, where are you? At least some people have come forward and have apologized and say, oh, hey, of course, you had to apologize. Why? Because you were ignorant. You never even actually took any time to really study what's going on. You don't even know what's going on with our dollar. So how do you say something? It's just learn to say, I don't know. I've heard of it. I don't trust you because I don't know too much about it. That's it. That's all you got to say. But when you say it's a scam, that's when you expose yourself that you're just a fucking idiot. Just want you to know that. Okay? Just want you to know that. All right? When you say that, you're a fucking idiot. That's all. You're a dumbass. You're a king-size dumbass. You're a king-size, uneducated dumbass, basically, is what it is when you say stuff like that. So, since you're going to say stuff like that, then I'm going to say a lot worse. And that's just kind of the way it is, since, you're just going to throw it out there. And then I'll come back and remind you as it goes over 40 and 50 and 60 and all that kind of stuff. So enjoy today. Enjoy last week. Enjoy a month ago. Enjoy 6 months ago. Those of you that have been riding this beautiful crypto wave that we're going on right now. And the wave is just kind of starting. It's kind of starting to build up right now. It's not even at its peak. I gotta apologize to Steve Calibro from Hialeah Park, because I told him that a year from now we'd be talking about 100,000. Maybe we're talking about 150, 175,000 a year from now instead, because we're easily going to get to 100,000. We haven't even gotten to the halving yet. So this is just phenomenal. Ethereum's over 3,500. Bitcoin's over 66,000. You know which one I was tripping out on, actually? And those of you that watch the show every day, and I don't know, he's never contacted us ever again on the show here on the chat board. Do you remember the guy that was panicking about polka dot being in the $4 to $5 range. It got into the $3 range. Okay. But I don't know. Do you guys remember? He says, hey, my wife is, on me about my investment in polka dot. And it was in that $4 or $5 range at that time. And I told him, what you have to do right now is actually buy more. This was, I want to say, I don't know, 6, 7 months ago, 8 months ago or something like that. I think it's been that long. Some of you guys remember that guy? He was like panicking that polka dot was in the $4 or $5 range. And it was already starting to go up from at that moment. It was in the $3 range. I told him, brother, what you got to do is buy more if you believe in it. But see, the difference is he never studied. He never really looked into his investment. He doesn't understand even what polka dot is. And so there it is. It was $4 or $5. Now it's $10. So he's doubled it. You know what I mean? Now, his wife might have forced him to sell. So, you never know with these kind of things. You just never know. Anyway, life is beautiful. Why? Because Bitcoin's at 66,000. As we told you, it would continue to climb. So you guys keep listening to those idiots that are misleading you, and you're missing out on incredible gains. Ah, yes, when we were talking about it at 16, now it's at 66. It's one hell of a change right there, ladies and gentlemen. All right, let's get to it. Let's get to Ira Winderman and our Acura Pembroke Pines Miami Heat and NBA report.
Heat fans, time for the best insight of your favorite team with insider Ira Winderman, exclusively on the Big O Radio Show. It's the Acura of Pembroke Pines Miami Heat and NBA report. Here's Ira Winderman.
Alrighty. How you doing, Ira? I'm sure you're not doing a tenth of how I'm feeling right now, but that's all right.
You know what? When the Heat win 10 out of 13, all I want to do is win no matter what. So I have no issues right now.
Yep, neither do I. The Heat are winning, and I'm winning. So, that's it's just there's winning all around. I mean, the Heat aren't winning nearly as much as I am. Or, the rest of my fellow Bitcoin brethren, of course. We are the real winners here overall because we're the ones that stayed through the tough times. Like we do as fans, by the way, with the Miami Heat, which I got to say, I would watch with frustrations because, the effort wasn't there from your most important player. But, Saturday just continues to prove that your most important player is actually, he wants it and he wants to play hard and he wants to showcase and all that good stuff. And there's a trickle down effect, to all of that. And it's a lot of fun to watch them now because now they're playing like the Panthers play every single night.
Well, and that's the thing is we know the Heat are just a part-time team. We know they wait till after midseason, after the All-Star break. We had all that consternation. They lost 7 in a row. Look, I don't like it. I don't like for the paying fan to show up at a point where the Heat have a certain indifference, but it's who they are. And they rose from the play-in last season. They might have to rise from the play-in again this season, but at least you know what you're getting. You know what you're getting from this team that come go time, you have a player who is playoff Jimmy Butler. You have guys who move forward, and you have Eric Spoelstra, who will show you more wrinkles as the season goes on to get his team set. Also, that's the difference right now.
The best. He is just absolutely the best by miles and miles and miles. He's so ahead of everybody in this league. I don't think there's going to be any playing. I'm watching a team that's giving me effort. It's a pretty damn good team right now. You're only half a game behind Orlando. You're a game. What is it? A game behind Philadelphia and a game and a half behind the Knicks. These are all very realistic moves for the Miami Heat. They can move all the way up to the 4th spot now, especially with the Knicks having all the injuries. And right now they're better than Orlando and Philadelphia the way they're playing right now. So maybe we're not going to have to deal with the play. And I think it sounds to me the way Jimmy's attacking this shit, I don't think he wants to deal with the play-in.
Oh, no, he wants 5 days off. He knows what it's like to go from that Friday game in the play-in, boom, you're in Milwaukee, even if you wind up winning. Plus, when you look at the standings, you wind up in the play-in, you have a chance to face the Celtics in the first round. Now, you can tell me all you want, Big O, about how the Heat have the Celtics numbers. The Boston Celtics have never been as good during the Jimmy Butler era as they are right now. The Celtics with Porzingis, who didn't even play yesterday, but with Porzingis and Drew Holiday, are a much better team. You do not want them until the latter stages of the playoffs. So you wind up in that 3-6 bracket. You wind up in a good place. Right now, if you get number 6, you're getting either Cleveland or Milwaukee. Look, Milwaukee's talented. They're good. But the Heat have the number 1. Doc Rivers is their playoff coach number 2. Got to feel pretty good there. Cleveland, just a sort of glad to be their kind of team. I'll take my chances any day with that team also. So if you wind up with either one of those two in the first round, you're in a good spot. Then you don't get the Celtics in the second round. So you can go on a run. So there's clearly some sweet spots. You mess around with that 7 or 8 seed and you get the Celtics in the first round. The one thing the Heat have done when they've gotten the Celtics, they've gotten them late in the playoffs, when they get beat up a little bit. You get this Boston team in the first round. With all due respect to what the Heat have done against the Celtics, I don't want to see the Celtics till as late as possible.
No, you're right about that. Although I will say this, I know they're the better team right now, but we have the better coach. So I still, even in that moment where you feel you're inferior, you still have the guy that can sometimes be the difference maker.
Yeah, but talent tends to trump all. And Boston's talent level in the East with Tatum, with Brown, with Holiday, with Porzingis, and even Derek White and the way he's playing, they are loaded with talent right now. That is a opponent better avoided.
Let me ask you something, because a buddy of mine who lived the New York days back in the day with Bradley and
Busher and Barnett and
right. So he made a very interesting comparison. He said, Bill Bradley and Duncan can be compared, and he sent me this. He goes, Bradley and Duncan are both known for their shooting skills and their ability to play multiple positions. They also have similarities in their basketball journeys. They both went undrafted in the NBA draft. Bradley was a territorial pick of the Knicks in '65, but he delayed his NBA debut for 2 years to pursue a Rhodes Scholarship at Oxford. Robinson was not selected in the 2018 draft, but he signed with the Heat as a free agent. They both played professional basketball in Europe before joining the NBA. Bradley played 1 season in Olimpia Milano in Italy, where he won the EuroLeague championship in '66. Robinson played 1 season in Corral Rona in France, where he averaged 16.7 points per game in 17-18. They both improved their performances over time in the NBA. Bradley started as a reserve player for the Knicks, but he became a key contributor as a starter to their championship teams in the 70 and 73. He also made the All-Star team in 73. Robinson also started as a bench player for the Heat, but he became a regular starter and a record-breaking shooter in the 2020 NBA Finals run. He also set the NBA record for most three-pointers made by an undrafted player in a single season in 2019 and 2020. It's a pretty interesting comparison, just for fun. I mean, we're not going to put him in the Bradley conversation yet
until he runs for president. Then we can add it all in there.
But the journey is kind of interesting. It's very comparable. You know what I'm saying? And we still don't know how the rest of his career finishes. So it's kind of like an open book there. It's kind of, we still have chapters to write for Duncan Robinson, but in his comparison, there's some stuff there, man. It's pretty cool.
Especially great coaches, whether you have Red Holtzman or whether you have Eric Spoelstra, know how to use a player, but also great ensemble teams where the leading man wasn't just a out-and-out all-star. Yes, they had Walt Frazier, they had Willis Reed, they had Dave Busher, they had Dick Barnett, and then Earl Monroe came in there, Mike Reardon, Dave Stallworth, but they were such a team, they played together as a unit, like the Heat do now. When the Heat are at their best, we see a bunch of guys in double figures, we see a bunch of guys 20-point scorers. They know how to use their components. Bill Bradley knew his place, just like DeBusschere did. Just like Clyde Frazier could have averaged so much more, but he focused, like Jimmy Butler, on the defensive end. That mattered to him. So I think you could see the comparisons. when you have an ensemble team, all the pieces have to mesh. I've never seen a team mesh more than those Knicks, even just with their one championship. Everyone was selfless, from Reed to DeBusschere to going down the line in that lineup. The Heat, when they play their best, are the same way also. Duncan Robinson fits this team. Duncan Robinson, for all the trades to Sacramento and Portland that they were sending him somewhere else, I don't think would be the best player. So it goes back to your point, Big O, you always mentioned to me, how Eric Spoelstra can maximize players. Duncan is better nowhere else than he is on this team. That goes with Bam Adebayo also. It goes with Jimmy Butler. They've gotten more out of him than a Tom Thibodeau did, than the other coaches that work with Jimmy Butler did. So when you look at it, it's a matter of knowing what you have and knowing how to use it. And that's what makes Duncan special.
Goes for Gabe Vincent, too, by the way.
And Max Strus and just everyone else. Now, Max having a hell of a season in Cleveland.
Max Strus has had a good year. Hell, he had a game-winning shot last week.
The midcourt shot he made the other day. But Eric Spoelstra, it's the old thing. How many players who have thrived from the Heat as undrafted success stories go on somewhere else and have that success? And the answer is, honestly, Max Strus is almost a breakthrough player this year with that approach, as opposed to Kendrick Nunn and just players who've left like that who were never seen again and now are overplaying in Greece or Italy.
Yeah, no, there's no doubt about that. Caleb is really, I think, now finding his place now again. You know what I mean? Although I do worry about him because, man, every once in a while he gets dinged up and you're like worried about him getting, because that's one thing. He's had a problem staying healthy too. You
know what? He has a lot of Goron in him. He throws his body in there. He just hurls his body into the mix. I mean, how many games did Goron lose teeth? And how many times was he bleeding from the mouth during games, which you appreciate? I think what the Heat now have found is the sweet spot for Caleb. So as much as people, including the Big O and our accurate Pembroke Pines reporter, talked about Nikola Jovic as a starter, what that also has allowed is Caleb to return to his energizing bench role. And you saw it in the game on Saturday when the Heat were lifeless and needed something. Eric Spoelstra went with Haywood Highsmith and Caleb Martin, set them loose like junkyard dogs in the trap, in the full court press. They energized the Heat. That turned the game around. You need those energizers off your bench. That's what Caleb has given you. That's what Haywood has given you. And that's why, Big O, with the start we were talking about the Heat coming around, I think everyone's starting to find their place now. They're finding their place on the bench. They're finding individual roles. When everyone is healthier, it's a lot easier to do that, which brings us back to your favorite. Now we got to get Tyler in the mix. And does that help? Or is that one too many chefs in the kitchen? We need to find that out also.
Bench. Put him on the bench. All right. That's it, bro. And
1,000% that's not happening.
Well,
it's not happening, though.
Right, it's the right thing to do. He should.
Is it happening?
I don't know. I'm going to take your word for it. You're around them more than I am. But if I'm Eric Spoelstra, I pull the Band-Aid or tear the scab and say, "Yo, kid, sorry, this is what's best for the team. We got to put you on the bench." He, and look, when you talk about finding roles now, we were talking about Jovic. It's either you start or you don't play at all. Well, guess what? Since the San Antonio game, he's been in double-digit minutes every single game. So something tells me now he's crossed that threshold under Eric Spoelstra, that Spoelstra wants to see more minutes from Jovic, and he's probably earned it in his eyes too. That's probably why he's also playing. So now when you bring back Tyler, how do you balance all these minutes? But you can't change certain things from certain players that give you things that Tyler does not give you. You know what I mean? Whether it's rebounding or defense, those kind of things that he just does not provide, that you have to have more of that on the court as a balance. And I just think Tyler, unlike Duncan, Tyler hasn't done enough to become more of a complete player. And Duncan has surpassed him by miles in improving from one stage to another. Tyler is still the same player we drafted a couple of years ago that we've watched for a few years. He's the same exact player. He really has not improved that much, unlike Duncan, who has drastically
But I think he started a higher bar, and I think he's still viewed as a better player. Here's the problem, Big O.
He's an offensive player. That's it anymore.
That matters. In today's 120-point NBA, that matters also.
But I'd rather have Duncan and everything else. I'd rather have him.
Well, that's the question you're sort of leading me to, is that if you're going to start Nikola and Bam the power rotation, you have 3 spots left. So if one goes to Jimmy and one goes to Terry Rozier and one goes to Tyler, then Duncan doesn't start. Then he winds up on that bench unit also. So you have to make that adjustment with your 3-point shooting. Now, with Jimmy hitting threes, it's helping a little bit, but that offsets it also. So, look, there still are, with 6 weeks to go, real decisions for Eric Spoelstra to make. And that's why, Big O, I think the point you made at the top of our accurate Pembroke Pines report is so important. If you avoid the play-in, you get at least 5 days off to reset yourself. Remember, Big O, how Pat Riley used to have playoff camp? After the regular season would end, he'd take the team to Palm Beach. He used to take his Knicks teams to Charlotte, South Carolina. He'd get them together. He'd have playoff camp. You need that. That helps. Imagine the mad scientist that is Eric Spoelstra having 5 days to prepare for an opponent. I'd be scared crapless if I was the other team, because what he's going to cook up, Dr. Frankenstein in that laboratory. Now, if he has to go through last season and lose to Atlanta in the first game and play Chicago on a Friday and go Milwaukee, it just makes it that much tougher. So Jimmy Butler's got to come out and be unworldly just to carry you through Milwaukee. Now, if he has 5 days, if I'm the other coaching staff, I'm sitting and trembling, wondering, what's this guy going to come up with? Because he always comes up with something.
Yeah, no, I'm with you there. All right, what are you working on? So, folks,
I just posted a story on Jimmy Butler's 3-point shooting. He has a 14-game streak with at least one. It's actually the second longest of his career. With Chicago going into the playoffs in 2015, he had a 19-game streak, which shows this is what he can do. And I like what Eric Spoelstra said. It's almost like Papa Shot for him. They're playing so far off of him. It's a set shot, not even having to jump, high percentage shot. But you'll also notice something you'll see tomorrow against Detroit at the arena also. Now when he does that pump fake, people are coming out on him. And boom, he's going right around him. So you create the threat of the three, as every player needs to have in today's NBA. It makes it easier for him also. So I wrote about that and sort of the jump he's made in the NBA. And then I wrote a story yesterday, this in today's paper. You've got to take care of the must-wins. You have Detroit 3 times in the next 2 weeks. I know they're playing better. I know they got screwed out of a victory in New York, but you've got to take care of that. You've got Washington twice coming up in the next 3 weeks. Think about that. A quarter of your remaining schedule is against Detroit and Washington. You can't afford a slip-up, and that starts tomorrow at the Kesare Center.
Yeah, I'm at least from what I'm seeing, this is not the team that's looking to slip. It would have to be a night that they just shot crap. And that happens to every team in the NBA, a couple nights where it just, you
know. You have to compensate with your defense. Then you can't even let that happen. Yeah.
I'm seeing a different team out there because of the way Jimmy's playing. I don't think there's any more mailing in. I think they're going to be working their asses off.
Well, one thing before we talk next week on our Accurate Pembroke Pines report, after the game against Detroit on Tuesday, they have a very tough back-to-back. Thursday in Dallas, Friday in Oklahoma City. Those are going to be tough games. Yeah. I am curious, does Eric Spoelstra prioritize winning and push Jimmy Butler through big minutes? Or does he say, hey, let's just get a split here? Now, they'll never say that publicly, but I am curious to see how they handle, because you still do have to manage also. You know what, Big O?
Yeah, hey, by the way, since you're talking about that, why don't you fucking go tell Tata Martino that on Saturday? Jesus Christ, bro. We're blowing the shit out of these people out of the water, and you got Messi all the way at the end of the game. What are these people doing, bro?
So you're saying 5-0 was a safe lead?
I'm saying 3-0 was a safe lead already at that point. Jesus Christ. That's the kind of shit I'm talking about right there, that you cannot do that kind of stuff. And so, yeah, you're right. That's the good thing about this Heat team. They've got a nice bench now. And if you have the luxury of blowing out Detroit, let's rest Jimmy in the fourth.
Right. So you have Jaime to come on, let him have a game. Even if you split Dallas and Oklahoma City, you come back, you play Washington, you should be fine.
Yeah, man. I really like how Caleb's really coming around.
Sure.
And then Jovic, man, I'm so impressed with that kid. He is really, really growing up. Those two youngins are just absolutely excellent additions to this team, man.
Yeah, nice future. Nice future for this team.
All right, follow him on Twitter at Ira Heatbeat and subscribe to the South Florida Sun Sentinel. Ira, as always, thank you. Appreciate it.
Catch you during the winning streak next week on the Accurate Pembroke Pines Report. Thanks, Big O.
You got it.
You've been listening to the Acura of Pembroke Pines Miami Heat and NBA Report with Ira Winderman. When you're looking for award-winning service and great deals from the #1 volume Acura sales dealership in the Southeast United States, you go to Craig's Inn Acura of Pembroke Pines at 15601 Pines Boulevard in Pembroke Pines. Welton Rayom has more than 62 years of litigation experience handling insurance disputes. They're committed to resolving even the toughest insurance claims quickly. Call them for a free consultation. 954-966-4646. At Welton Rayom, they don't get paid unless you win. Property damage claims to your home, business, or condo as a result of a hurricane. Welton Rayom can help. Water, mold, fire, smoke damage, Welton Rayom can help. Call 954-966-4646.
Alrighty. Hope you all are doing well. Don't forget, folks, use our code BIG010. You will get 10% off at Caneswear. InterMiami gear, Miami Heat, Miami Dolphins, Marlins, Panthers, and then they got practically anything and everything with the Canes logo on it. So check it out at caneswear.com, and online, you can use our code BIG010. Online, you order over $99, you'll get free shipping. And if you go in person, you use our code BIG010, you will get 10% off. So there you go. It's a beautiful thing. All right. Let's get to a little roll call. Jamie Zorria is number 1. Thank you, sir. Steve Chapman is in the house. Right again on Wilkins. Thank you. We warned you. Even last week when Dan Graziano reported that the Dolphins are going to try to keep him one way or the other, I said, all right, I trust him. I trust Dan, but I have to see it to believe it. Didn't I say that? And then the only thing that I gave it a slim chance, which I talked about it yesterday, and there's a whole breakdown on the Wilkins thing, and you can listen to it there. I'm not going to go as in depth, but there's a couple things that I keep hearing, and I need to clear this up because obviously we had a lot of people that didn't really understand the Wilkins situation, because I think I'm the only media member that told you for months now he's gone. I know I'm the only media member that told you he's gone. There will be no tag, no long-term contract, none of that. I thought maybe because the cap grew a little bit more than what people expected, maybe they could do what? The dick move and maybe tag him for a year and then let him go. That's about it, I said. That's like the periphery of it, but I didn't expect it. So we'll see. Steven Gonzalez in the house. Joseph is in. A marvelous Monday. Yes, it is. Ray Sosa in. I see Tata Martino is doing his best Mike McDaniel impression. That was a beautiful performance by InterMiami on Saturday. It was fun to watch. Messi got a pair of goals. Suarez got a brace also. It was fantastic, right? And Suarez looked good. He actually ran around. When he had to run through traffic, he couldn't have done that in the last couple games. He just didn't look himself. This game, he looked more like himself, a lot more. And so that was actually really cool. But the fact that you kept some of these old guys that late into the game, here's my theory on this, okay? One of our favorite words on the show is compartmentalize, right? And I think that Tata Martino, Chris Henderson, the general manager, and the Moss brothers, they need to get together and they need to bring a little balance to all of this. You have a lot of games to play. You have older players. If you're blowing a team out, you can't worry about all the people that paid to watch. Dude, sorry, but you're supposed to rest Messi in this game. He shouldn't have played the last 30 minutes of this game. They weren't going to catch up, dude. I just don't understand that, man. You got a stretch now where you play Nashville on Thursday, so you're not getting a full week off. Then they play Nashville at Nashville Thursday. Sunday, you're back home against Montreal. And then Wednesday, you're against Nashville. And if you know anything about this team in Nashville has been a pain in the ass for InterMiami. They love giving Miami a hard time and beating them too. That's 2 of your next 3 in a short amount of time. Rest these guys. This is watching exactly what this gentleman mentioned. Mike McDaniel playing Chubb at the end of a game that was stupid. And there was no reason for him to be in there. No awareness. I don't care that Messi's a gym rat. Kiss my ass. What did I have? What was my message for Teron Armstead a couple weeks ago? What was my message? This offseason, right? If he comes up to you and says, no, I want to scrimmage. No, screw you, bro. We love you, Teron. You're fantastic. You're awesome. We're putting your ass on bubble wrap the entire offseason. You ain't playing any contact until we start the season. That's it. I ain't putting you out there at all. I'm not putting you at risk. Same thing. You saw Messi broke down last year. You have several tournaments. The good thing is they eliminated the U.S. Open Cup at least. But you have several tournaments on top of your regular season, and you're playing this guy in the last 30 minutes of a game that you don't need. You don't need him. You don't need Suarez. You don't need Busquets. Rest all their old asses. Bring on the bench, dude. You got one of the best goalies in the entire league. Figure it out. Play in a box, bunch up the box. Don't just play counter the entire time. That's it. You got a 3-0 lead. If you can't win with a 3-0 lead, then you don't even deserve to be on the pitch. That was catastrophically stupid by Tata Martino. Okay? Embarrassingly stupid by Tata Martino. No business at all playing Messi that late. None. Anyway. So I agree with you, Ray. Gus 1388. What? Greetings every day. Omar, so funny. We're going for Christian. Oh, God. So that's where it came from. So, I trust Gus 1388. He's one of the guys that I actually do trust. So apparently Omar was talking about going after Chris Jones. Okay. I didn't hear it, but I got to figure that you're right. You know why? I was answering DMs this morning. Okay. Most of them were about Bitcoin and crypto and thanking me and all that stuff, which, by the way, you're all welcome because you're all making money big time. But a guy asked me and he goes, oh, well, since we're not going to sign Wilkins, let's go after Chris Jones. And I was like, dude, that's stupid. It's unrealistic. It's not going to happen. And so now I get it. Most of you have very little imagination. Most of you don't think for yourselves, and you end up just parroting whatever you hear. Elizabeth Warren says Bitcoin's a scam. Your stupid ass just repeats it. That's kind of the way it is, right? You don't know anything about it, but you just repeat and parrot something that you don't even understand her motives behind it because she ain't looking out for you. She doesn't give a shit about you. And so there's Omar saying something ridiculous, okay? Because if he said let's go after Chris, that is just let's waste time on a show and talk about absolute garbage, okay? Shit that is never going to happen, doesn't make any sense whatsoever. There's no rhyme or reason to it, but let's waste time talking about. This is exactly what I talk about all the time. It's exactly what I talk about all the time. And this is why I don't waste my time with this kind of bullshit. So, yeah, there'll be no Chris Jones, bro. I mean, that's just ridiculous. That's just a waste of time. But go ahead, enjoy yourself. Maybe he'll write an article about it too. I don't know. Love him, but he comes up with the craziest shit in the world, dude. Giovanni is in the house. Man, need more coffee. So do I, because I when I woke up at 4:40 this morning to go to the bathroom, I checked my phone and I saw Bitcoin at 65, and I had a hard time. I barely even went back to sleep. I might have closed my eyes for 5 or 10 minutes or something. So I'm going to need some sleep myself. I'll tell you that. Anyway, Jay Gelfin is in the house. Brooklyn Rob in. Thomas Nieto. Only thing better than a weekend of wins from our South Florida teams are the wins I'm getting on Coinbase thanks to this sports show. A sports show with great crypto tips, but I am not a financial advisor by any stretch whatsoever. Do your own homework, baby. One-Eyed Jack is in the house. Johnny D, thank you, Big O, the guy who tells it like it is. Even if your ears want to hear something else, keep up the great work. Thank you, sir. Appreciate you. Frankie, Big O, I told you Luis Suarez on one leg is better than Campana. Again, it takes time. Also, what do you think of Yeldon? The Yeldon trade, I feel terrible for him because he earned the right to be here and enjoy this ride with Messi. But there you got another guy coming in, and if you're trying to make the team better, and if it is better, what are you going to do, man? But it sucks for Yeldon. And as for Suarez, nobody's comparing Campana and Suarez, dude. Suarez is a world-class established player. And he played on 2 legs on Saturday. He wasn't on one leg. But Campana is a terrific little player, bro. I got no problem resting Messi and putting Campana in. He could start on a bunch of teams in the league. Stetson is in. Brian Landis is in. Cosa Nostra is in. Inter Miami has washed out players discarded from FC Barcelona. Inter Miami is winning. They've got the most points in the league. They're number 1. They do have one extra game in hand. And as far as I'm concerned, that's all that matters. Win. Good morning, Big O and Sean. I get why they did what they did to Wilkins. In the biggest moments, he didn't make the big plays. He had to play like a Chris Jones, the KC defensive end. Exactly. Isaiah is in. Drago in. Roderick Freeman. Lucas. Been a while. Did I miss anything? A lot of crypto gains. You missed out. You missed out on making a lot of money. R.I.P. to Chris Mortensen. Yes, sir. Anthony Campos. Heard the news. Passed away at the age of 72. Throat cancer. And obviously we saw him go through some tough times the last couple of years. He looked like he was, obviously dealing with something. And he was a champ. And he did what he loved all the way to the end. And you got to love that kind of passion. And you've got to respect the shit out of his work. That is something that you've got to respect immensely with Chris Mortensen. Ray Varnicus is in. Thanks for taking me off the ledge about the Wilkins situation yesterday. You made a logical, well thought out argument, and I agree with Sealer outplayed him anyway. Yep. You can listen to the show we did yesterday, and we completely broke down the Wilkins situation and why you must part ways. And it's, some of the stuff that you've heard before. If you haven't, it all depends, but you can check it out. I gave you some stuff that you really got to think about. True Fin Fan is in the house. Lucas is in. Cap for Life. Brandon Flood. Bitcoin Power, he says. Vamos Gatos. Angelo De Jesus in Albuquerque. I am feeling good, my man. Foot is fine. It's got another week where I get the MRI to see what the progress is. Thank you, sir. NorCal is in the house. Jay Gelfin. Luis Benito. Brooklyn Rob. Spooky Myers. Lisa Rose is in. Listening in on the first day of my new job. There you go. You're a corporate time-stealing weasel. Those are our favorites, Lisa. Brooklyn says defense and running game is what you need in the playoffs. How did KC win it all? Defense. Yep. What else do we have? Dan B. Good morning, Big O. Hope you had a good weekend. We'll be in and out, but keeping you on. Need your opinion on the Fins. We'll be sending it later. Well, we talked about the Wilkins situation yesterday, but I do want to clear up some stuff, okay? I do need to clear up some stuff about the Wilkins situation. Jay Guffin says, Orlando, you're right. What the F was Tata doing? It's not like you only have 2 subs in the old NASL. Jay says, heard it this morning. They're just filling space like they do with their replays on QAM. Oh, okay. I got you. Just to give you a second on Omar, yes, he did say Chris Jones. Yeah. Well, I'm getting it from Jay, from you, from everybody. You know, it's just silliness, bro. That's just crap, you know. But I can't waste my time doing that. And so let's get ahead here. Let's talk a little. There's a couple things that I got to follow up on. If you want a complete Wilkins breakdown, you can listen to the segment from yesterday. It's all there. There's a lot of stuff that I broke it down, a lot of things to make you think. And I think once you hear the show and hear the entire breakdown, you will then agree with me. I think, if you're logical, that this is actually the right move by them, letting him go. Now, there's something going on that's floating around by writers, by on-air people. Not that really QAM has really almost anyone that can give you insight outside of Joe, to be quite honest. Nobody really has any connections with that team. And I don't know how much Joe is even involved with the team at times. You know what I mean? So if there's a chance of anybody breaking any news or giving you any kind of insight, it's Joe. And then that's it. There's nothing else in that station. Okay. No one on that station has any insight on anything, on any team, on anywhere. But you still hear people talk stuff, right? And you hear and you watch people write some stuff on you. I don't really check too much YouTube. Sometimes some of you will send me some stuff and all that. But in general, this is what I've been hearing with Wilkins. Okay. Television, that too. Maybe what the Dolphins are doing is that they're going to allow him to go test the free agent market. And then he's going to come back and give the Dolphins a chance to match it or beat it or something like that. I don't think you understand what's going on here. This is not an amicable situation by any stretch whatsoever. There's not the love fest. You know, there's a professionalism. They're not airing any dirty laundry. They're not talking about why they're disappointed. They're not talking about why they didn't offer this, that, whatever. They're not doing anything. They're just being professional. And since most of the people out there really have zero insight whatsoever, then they think something silly like Christian Wilkins is coming back or even going to give the Dolphins a chance. He's done. He's done. He wasn't happy last year that he didn't get his contract. And he let everybody know that he wasn't happy last year that he didn't get his contract. You just don't know about it. Just like you didn't know that Brian Flores was going roughshod through the building. Nobody knew. Christian Wilkins not coming back, dude. He wants to leave now, get money, and prove that he is what he thinks he is. That's what's going to happen. There's no coming back. I don't know where people are coming up with this silliness. And if they are, it's because they have zero insight. And they have no idea. So they just want to throw it out there and mislead you. There's no coming back. Can we be clear enough on this? I think I was clear enough for months that he wasn't getting a contract and he wasn't getting tagged. And that's exactly what's happening. Why would you think they didn't want to pay him last year what he thought he was worth? Now in 9 sacks, he's going to think he's worth way more, and they're not even going to be in the same neighborhood. Why would you think they're going to match or beat another deal out there in the open market? So anybody on television, on radio, anybody writing that silliness, okay? I just want you to know I'm going to just put it out there and squash it like I've been squashing for months. Oh, no, they'll tag him. Oh, they'll give him a contract. You heard a bunch of media members. They were convinced. So we're the only ones that we had the absolute on it. We didn't tell you maybe if. No. I didn't do that. I never do that. I don't play the fence. Well, maybe it could happen here or it could happen there. I don't play that shit. I'm either right or wrong. That's how I like doing it. I go all in, period. And for months, I told you he ain't getting tagged and he's not getting a long-term contract. And let everybody else write and talk about that bullshit when it ain't going to happen. Just like Jonathan Taylor and Dalvin Cook. Yeah, no, because the Dolphins are dying to give them big money or trade for them. Dumbasses. Okay, so let's stop with this bullshit. There's no return for Christian Wilkins. He's done. He's moved on. Okay? Sealer and Wilkins are no longer a pair anymore. It's over. So they'll have to get their defensive tackle in the draft or in free agency or trade. I don't know. However it happens, we'll find out who's available. We got to wait till another couple of days, and then we'll have a better feel, and then we can get into that, get into free agency. Now, let's talk about another subject that, again, is incredibly irresponsible by media members, and then it influences you because you go parroting exactly what they said, which makes no sense. Like the guy that reached out to me about Chris Jones, because apparently he heard it from my man Omar, which is just ridiculous that you would even talk about Chris Jones. Okay. Here's the new one that I love from the lazy media all over the place. Well, hey, there's no way the Dolphins can be better than they were last year. How do you know that? How do you know who they're going to draft, who they're going to trade for, who they're going to sign in free agency? Oh, and by the way, morons, what if they're actually healthy? Because part of the reason why they weren't very good at the end of last year and the year before, they were completely injury riddled. They've had the worst luck in the NFL the last 2 years with injuries. So what happens if they're completely healthy or there's only one guy missing or something? Well, how does that theory fly now? It's the dumbest shit in the world, bro. I get it, dude, the Jalen Phillips and the Chubb thing, and I understand that. And you got, I think the GM told you 30 to 40% of turnover. I think he told you himself that every team goes to 30 or 40%. Looks like Miami will be in that 40 percentile. Yeah, you need players. You need players every year. You're going to have to go get a defensive tackle. Yeah, you got to find a linebacker. Of course, you got to find a tight end. Sure, maybe you got to draft a lineman, a D or offensive lineman, depending on what's there at 21. It's every year, dude. Since when does that, like, what are you, Kansas City? If you're not Kansas City, everybody else has got to turn over their roster and start finding a whole bunch of things. Let's make it sound like Miami is the only one that's got to like turn over a roster, that everybody else has got their entire roster set. It's the stupidest, it's the laziest shit in the world. Can we wait to find out who they do draft, who they picked up undrafted, who they signed in free agency, whom they may have traded for, who improved from within? Like, there's a ton of shit that can go on. Maybe Weaver's better than Fangio. You ever thought of that? Lazy as shit. But again, it's sensationalism and drama at its finest. Let's get you panicked by telling you, well, I don't know if they can be better. Oh, by the way, I heard the same shit with the Miami Heat this year. Go back and rewind and go watch the weeks leading up to. Go watch our Ira Winderman interviews. Go watch my Anthony Chang interviews. Watch me tell them I think this team's going to be better than last year's team. Meanwhile, everybody else is the people writing, everybody talk about, oh no, they're going to take a step back this year. And I'm like, no, I don't think so. I think they're going to be better. And they're already better. They're already starting to climb. They're not going to end up in the 7 or 8 seed. It's just, can we wait? You know what I mean? But of course, let's go with the negativity. Let's go with the sensationalism, right? If they don't sign Wilkins, it's such a bad look. You know what's the one I love? Well, the Dolphins are proving they don't pay their own. Really? Wasn't X their own for many years? They even overpaid him here the last couple of years. I'm sorry, isn't Sealer their own? Didn't they tell you they're about to sign Tua? Didn't they find Agba off free agency? He produced, and then they gave him a contract. So it was the guy they found, resurrected his career, and then they re-signed him. Isn't that like their own? Wouldn't that be considered? Didn't they find Nick Needham off the street and then gave him a contract? Poor kid got injured, but isn't that their own? So you think they're not going to re-sign Hunt and Holland? What are you, stupid? You re-sign who you think you deserve to re-sign. You let go who you have to let go. And you got to let go of Christian Wilkins because he's not worth that kind of money. But no, it sounds great to sensationalize it and say, no, they don't pay their own. I thought they paid Jason Sanders. Isn't that their own? Okay. I mean, they pay their own. But are they going to pay everybody? No. But I bet you they'll pay Hunt now, and I bet you they'll pay Connor Williams. I bet you they'll pay AVG. I bet you those contracts will get done. Some guy also was panicking. Oh, my God. They're not saying, oh, they're going to let Hunt go and AVG. Oh. You know, it's just, let's just be more sensationalistic. So if anybody's writing or talking about that, brother, it's just a matter of taking an absolute negative angle when we have it. And then when they re-sign Andrew Van Ginkel and Rob Hunt, what do you do after that? After you said, oh, wow, yeah, they're probably going to let AVG and Hunt go. So what do you do after that? You just keep going and keep writing or saying other stupid shit. Okay. Gotcha. All right. Let's see. Greer, in my opinion, has got us in a crazy spot. We have only 14 picks in 3 years. Well, that's because you traded some for established players. You can't have it both ways, dude. You want Jalen Ramsey, you got to give up a pick. You want Tyreek Hill, you got to give up a pick. You can't have it both ways, dude. That's all a load of shit. That's, again, another lazy fan, Greg. That's what you are, my man. A lazy fan that just throws shit out there. Can't have it both ways, dude. You can't. Sorry. You got to sometimes you got to give up something to get something. And, the Chubb one did not look good early on, right? It looked great this year until Mike McDaniel effed it all up. So, I mean, it's just, these are things that it gets ridiculous at times for some of you out there. The picks are you're trying to win now. So you can't wait for players to develop. And by the way, the Cam Smith thing, I'm going to be very intrigued to see what happens with Weaver, because if he actually plays with Weaver and plays well, that's going to be such a bad look for Fangio. It's going to prove that he was inflexible, kind of like McDaniel with Chase Claypool or Gesicki or including finding a third option on the team. Pretty hard-headed about that. Christian can bounce. Majority of his sacks came from bottom feeder teams, and you can't overpay for that. Exactly. We pointed that out several times on the show. Andrew wants to stay in Miami. I think so too. I think that family doesn't want to go anywhere. Let's see. Didn't they sign Jerome Baker? Yep, that's her own. Austin Jackson, that's their own. Yeah. And Smythe, that's their own. Bro, people are full of shit. They just repeat what someone else says, and they don't even think themselves. You, on the other hand, Ray, you just sit back and go, of course they pay their own, but they're not going to pay for everybody. And not everybody deserves the contract that they want. So Ricardo Cuchican says, Dear O, in all his career, Leo has fought coaches for taking him out unless injured, and Tata knows him very well. I don't give a shit, bro. I don't give a shit. I'm taking him out, bro. And I'm telling him throughout the season, hey, if I have a chance to rest you, I'm going to rest you. I'm going to pull you. I need you for the season. At one point or another, you have to protect the player from themselves. And then when he's sitting out and missing games, it's not going to help you. So I disagree. I get it. I know he's a gym rat. I understand all of that. It's the same bullshit with Teron Armstead. He wanted to practice, and look what ended up happening. It effed up his season. Because he ends up starting the season injured, what you wanted to avoid. And you know how you avoid that? By putting him on bubble wrap the entire offseason. I don't care if he gets pissed. Don't give a shit. At time, the coach has to be a coach at times. Just like the father or the mother have to be the adults in the room for the kids. No matter what the kid may be overzealous on wanting to do this, that, whatever, you got to harness it and bring it back and say, no. You can't do that because this, and this. Oh, but I'm pissed. I need to do no. And you got to be the adult at that moment. Tata has to be the adult, man. You cannot do that. It makes no sense when you've got 3 games coming up in 3 games in 6 days. That makes no sense, dude. No sense. So, yeah. Giovanni, impossible to pay everyone. That is why the NFL has established budgets for the teams every year, so it doesn't become ole Major League Baseball. Top 6 teams make all the dough. Exactly. George says, finally bought a bit of Bitcoin, testing the water, still a stock market guy, just diversifying. It's all right, man. It's all good, George. You live, you learn, and you'll figure it out. And you'll figure out that you could have made way more gains here than you do in the stock market. The stock market, it's like 7 stocks or something that are running like 70% of the stock market or something. It's doesn't have the variety that you got here. You've got so many opportunities, What do we got going on? Let me see. 66,400 right now. So we'll see if it flirts with 67. Ethereum's at 3,563. So it's looking to go to 3,600, up 4%. Cardano is up 8.5% at 78 cents. Polygon is up near 5%, $1.13. Atom, Cosmos is over $12, $12.53, up 4.7%. VeChain up 3.5%, over 5 cents. H-bar trying to approach the 12-cent range again, up 6.5%. Polka Dot up 9.5%, $10.17. Avalanche is up 2% to $43.55. Jasmy up 2.5 cents, up to 2.5 cents, up 18.73%. Gala Games has been blowing up, dude. In the last month, Gala Games is up 119%. In the last week, it's up 40%. In the last 24 hours, it's up 4.5% to 4.6 cents. Decentraland has gone all the way up to 67 cents. It's up 3% today. Slow mover, but at least it's been steady lately. SHIB has moved up 33% to 4 zeros and 29. So from 9 to 29. So it's gone about 3 to 4x almost. So those are some of the coins that are running right now. For those of you that are interested in a little hot runs. What else do we have? Demo up to 52 cents, 6.6%. Let's see. Oh, yeah, Ondo. Ondo's at 50 cents. We gave it to you at 24, so you've doubled, but it's down right now. It's down 7%. Shrapnel is going to be a hell of a game. It's going to blow up. It's at 26 cents. It's down 6%. That one has not taken off yet. So there you go. Some of the stuff going on right now in the world of crypto. What else do we have? Let's see. Bucks, Mike Evans, by the way, the Bucks and Mike Evans have agreed to a 2-year, $52 million deal, $35 million guaranteed. The next question is, what happens with Baker Mayfield? There was reports that it wasn't as sure thing that he would end up re-signing. By the way, Bitcoin, I'm looking at it here. It just went up again, 66,564. Bitcoin has surpassed the Swiss franc to become the 13th largest currency in the world. It just continues to climb. That's impressive, dude. Absolutely impressive. Let's see. Party Ride guy says, Big O, since Bitcoin's making me rich, I gave up some Bitcoin to keep Wilkins' dedication. Mandog says, my SHIB is up bigly. No team pays their own all the time. Look at the Chiefs. They let Snead test free agency. They let Chris Jones test free agency. Tyreek Hill got traded when he wanted to make a lot of money. Yeah. I mean, that's just kind of the way it is. You're going to have to make some tough decisions. And I actually, at the price, I don't think the Christian Wilkins decision is that tough. Let me give you another positive that people aren't looking at. So Christian Wilkins leaves, signs a big contract somewhere else, and you get a 3rd-round pick now, because that's the highest you're going to get, right? And that's probably what it's going to happen, unless you're such a player in free agency that it kind of offsets it. But let's just say you get the 3rd-rounder for shits and giggles, okay? Let's just say compensation ends up becoming that 3rd-rounder for you, okay? Now, you no longer have Christian Wilkins on the books. So you're not paying $25 million a year. Positive, right? If you're able to find another player that can play well next to Sealer, positive, you replaced him. Plus, you get a 3rd-round pick. So now, whether that becomes a tackle, defensive tackle, or an offensive lineman, or a tight end, or a wide receiver, or whatever, you have a chance to keep that legacy going with that 3rd-round pick. So even without Christian Wilkins, you can still continue this. So it's up to the front office now to hit on that pick. You know, it's just one of those situations where you should be appreciative of where you're at right now. You've had two teams that are really good the last 2 years. The worst part has been the bad luck. So hopefully you can shed some of that bad luck next year. And if you stay healthy, you can actually have a pretty damn good season. That's usually what happens. Sean is in the house. Sean, do me a favor. Take us to a break, please. Give me a couple minutes to rest the voice. 1 hour down right here on the Big O Radio Show.
There's no need to drive around South Florida wasting valuable time looking for a new or certified pre-owned Acura. Go to the #1 volume sales dealership in the Southeast United States. Craig Zinn's Acura of Pembroke Pines. Purchase with pace and space in a dealership tailored to your needs. From home buying to providing that personal touch. Contact the 2020 Satisfaction Award winner Craig Zinn's Acura of Pembroke Pines. 888-776-5123. That's 888-776-5123. Or visit them at 15601 Pines Boulevard in Pembroke Pines.
When presenting an award to an employee, athlete, executive, or fantasy GM, make sure you call Orvieto's Awards and More. For 35 years, these custom award specialists have been providing plaques, trophies, custom framing, while providing state-of-the-art laser and computerized engraving, UV printing, and glass crystal etching. They do all their engraving and printing in-house for quality control. Call Charles at 305-949-8098 or visit them at orvietosawards.com. Orvieto's Awards and More, where recognition is rewarding.
Oh, great. You have a doorbell camera. Now you have a front row seat to your house getting robbed.
They're breaking into my house!
Ooh, there goes the TV. I'm sure it'll turn up at the pawn shop.
No, not the TV!
Just because you can see them, that doesn't mean you can stop them. With Slogans, you get 24-hour monitoring, a free home security system, and professional installation. Plus, free doorbell camera, one that'll actually work for you.
Get out of my house! Get out of the house!
Call 1-800-ALARM-ME.
With more than 62 years of litigation experience handling insurance disputes, Welton Rayum is committed to resolving even the toughest insurance claims quickly. At Welton Rayum, they don't get paid unless you win. They handle complex personal injury claims caused by the fault of another in both state and federal courts. They handle auto, trucking, motorcycle, slip and fall, and bicycle accidents. Call 954-966-4646. That's 954-966-4646. Welton Rayum can help.
For over 16 years, EJDconstruction.com has provided South Florida residents quality craftsmanship, accurate project management, and exceptional service. That's why EJDconstruction.com is an A-rated member of Angie's List and the Better Business Bureau. When you're looking for the right custom home builder for additions or home remodeling, please call my friend Eric at 305-433-4843. That's 305-433-4843 for EJDconstruction.com.
There's no need to drive around South Florida wasting valuable time looking for a new or certified pre-owned Acura. Go to the #1 volume sales dealership in the Southeast United States. Craig Zinn's Acura of Pembroke Pines. Purchase with pace and space in a dealership tailored to your needs. From home buying to providing that personal touch. Contact the 2020 Satisfaction Award winner Craig Zinn's Acura of Pembroke Pines. 888-776-5123. That's 888-776-5123. Or visit them at 15601 Pines Boulevard in Pembroke Pines.
When you move, you need a reliable company led by passionate folks eager to assist its customers during a transitional process that needs to be smooth. Call Essential Moving Experts at 844-368-5750 for all your local and long-distance moving needs. You can rely on Essential Moving Experts. Mention the Big O Radio Show and get $150 off. Family owned and operated. They offer free 30-day storage, full service moving, fully licensed, bonded, and insured. Moving was never so easy. EssentialMovingExperts.com.
Welcome to Caneswear. New store, new items, same great experience. Family owned and operated since 2010, Caneswear has the latest merchandise from the Miami Hurricanes, Miami Dolphins, Florida Panthers, InterMiamiCF, and more. Come visit us at our store in Davie on University Drive, just south of 595, or online at caneswear.com. Caneswear, the spot Miami fans shop.
This is the Big O Show. 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 This is.
Oh, I think I know what this is. Houston, we have a package. Hello?
No matter where you are, the Sloman Shield home security system guards your home. With next-gen perimeter protection, 24/7 monitoring, and interior motion sensing. And right now, get a free Sloman Shield security system and doorbell camera, all professionally installed, for free.
Shield your world, the Sloman Shield.
Viewpoint statements or beliefs expressed on the following program by the host, guests, or callers are not necessarily the opinions of FantasyXS.com, Media Group Inc. ownership, management, sponsors, or website. When it comes to South Florida sports teams, very few in the media have witnessed, lived, and covered it like the Big O. Let's start the program dedicated to your favorite South Florida teams with a passion that's unmatched. The Big O Radio Show is on. Here's the Big O.
All right. Welcome aboard, folks. Thank you all for tuning in as always. And of course, we love the folks at Top Gun Indoor Range, Steve and the great people there at Top Gun Indoor Range. And folks, they do have self-defense classes for the ladies, so take advantage. They're right there off the Turnpike on 120th. They've been around for over 4 years. They've got the largest indoor archery range in Dade County, and they've got many leagues and many tournaments, and the gun range has 18 lanes up to 25 yards deep. Longest distance, by the way, for an indoor range in Dade County. So check it out. Gun sales, of course, top of the line, Glock, 6 Hour, Smith & Wesson. They've got them all. And they offer memberships, too, on top of all of that. So reach out to our friends at Top Gun Indoor Range, 305-306-7333. All right, let's get to our 3A Graphics sports calendar. Why don't we? And the Heat on Saturday defeated the Jazz 126-120. They're off till tomorrow, Tuesday. They take on Detroit at 7:30. Panthers, they blanked Detroit 4-0 as they beat the Red Wings. And what's it called? Bob had 21 saves in that one. Montour had a goal and 2 assists. And Barkov and Rodriguez each had a goal and an assist. Tonight, they visit the Rangers, 7 o'clock. And remember, they're number 1 in the conference right now with 86 points. The Rangers and Boston are behind them at 84. So this is a really, really important game tonight. And the Panthers can send a message to the Rangers like, yeah, you're all right, but you're not good enough. That's what you got to do tonight. NSU defeated St. Leo's over the weekend on Saturday, 98-78. Obviously, they won the Sunshine State Tournament. And tomorrow they start the Sunshine State Tournament against number 8 Eckerd College at 7:30. So good luck to them. InterMiami over the weekend beat Orlando City 5-0. Luis Suarez with 2 goals, Messi with 2 goals, and Robert Taylor. Thank you, sir, because I just keep betting with you and I keep winning and winning. So score anytime, and I love it. It's like plus 250, plus 225. Forgot what it was, or plus 275. Forgot what it was. But I took that before the game, and Taylor scored because he's going to benefit from being around these monsters. Everybody's worried about the monsters, so he's going to benefit from it. The monsters will set him up. Messi and Suarez are going to set him up if he's going to play up front. So we'll see. Thursday, by the way, they visit Nashville at 9 o'clock. So we'll see what happens there. And, of course, visit our friends at 3A Graphics for custom printing and embroidery. They know how to get it done, baby. All right. Let's see. What do we have on the chat board? JS115. I've had Bitcoin since 2014. Nice. Good for you, dude. Abel Valenzuela. So paying Wilkins 20-25 million won't be taking it easy and will guarantee success. Okay. He doesn't want 20. He wants more like 25, by the way. I think you can live without him, bro. You know? So the Eagles will overpay for Wilkins. That's fine. Let him overpay for Wilkins. Sting won his last match last night with Darby Allin. I'm happy for Sting and for Darby Allin. Although I'd rather have Sting jamming with the police instead. I think that's a lot better than being in some kind of ring, wrestling. Come on, bro. That's just wrong at every level. That's all I can tell you. What else do we have to talk about? Oh, man, I ran into this story, and I got to tell you, from the department, right? Comes this crazy-ass story from the one and only Johnny Manzel. Yeah. Johnny Manzel has a problem. And, he's going to take a stand for this. Yeah. I don't know how you view Johnny Manzel, but obviously this is a man that has priorities. This is a man that just, has his beliefs set. And so he put out Johnny Manzel. After careful thought and consideration, I will be humbly removing myself from the Heisman Trophy ceremony until Reggie Bush gets his trophy back. It doesn't sit right with my morals and values that he can't be on the stage with us every year. Reggie is the Heisman Trophy. Johnny Manzel has spoken. Okay? These are his values. Telling you. Do the right thing, NCAA. The ball is in your court. Much love, JM2. This is all after careful thought. And he's humbly removing himself. Okay? It's all about morals and values with Johnny Manziel, because when you say Johnny Manziel, it's all about morals and values. I mean, what else would you think about? Right? I mean, Johnny Manziel is morals and values. Not Cal Ripken. No, not Derek Jeter. No, not Tony Dungy. No. Those people have no morals and values. Not at all. No. Johnny Manziel has morals and values. Okay, a lot of people can learn about morals and values from Johnny Manziel. I mean, I got to tell you, if Johnny Manziel says he's behind me on something, I'm just going to look over and say, hey, no thanks. Appreciate that, bro. Thank you. No thanks. We'll be fine. It's kind of the way I would handle it. I don't know about you guys. But, I mean, this is all after careful consideration, remember. It's all about morals and values. That's why these decisions are made. Morals and values. I don't know if you guys knew that, but it's the truth. It's all about morals and values. Let's go with a little music history and birthdays. Why don't we do that? Get that out of the way. By the way, I got a crazy ass story. First of all, let's go with the birthdays. Birthdays today. Okay, I don't know him, but bro, there's a little kid named Dylan Gilmer. He's 15. I don't know who he is. It's his rapper, but damn, he looks like he's 12. Anyways, I have no idea who he is. Let's see, who else do we have here? Draymond, I have anger issues. Green is 34 years old today. This is like a weak list. Catherine O'Hara, actress, 70. She's the mom in Home Alone. That's her. That's the woman. Just in case if you don't know who Catherine O'Hara is. Man, this is like one of the weakest lists I have ever seen that we read every day. Patricia Heaton, actress, 66. And that's it. Nothing else. Bad list today for birthdays. Very weak list. All right, let's go with music history, and then I'll give you a crazy-ass story. March 4th in music history in 66 on this date, the London Evening Standard published John Lennon's controversial statement that the Beatles were more popular than Jesus. In 94, Kurt Cobain was rushed to the hospital after overdosing on alcohol and drugs in a Rome hotel during Nirvana's European tour. The rocker had taken 50 to 60 pills of Riponol mixed with champagne. Oh, I do that all the time. In fact, I did 10 of those right before the show. In 77, CBS released the Clash's self-titled album in the UK, but refused to put it out in America until 1979. It didn't stop fans from getting the record, though. Americans bought over 100,000 imported copies of the effort, making it one of the biggest selling imports of all time. In 67 on this date, the Rolling Stones had the #1 song in the country with Goodbye, Ruby Tuesday. Who could hang a name on you? All right, the band's 4th hit to top the charts. And that's what happened today in music history. You want a crazy story? One that's been going around. My daughter told me about this story because she was like disgusted by it. But apparently, you should not be disgusted by it because there was nothing to be disgusted about except the family is kind of a little dysfunctional. Dominic Purcell. Anybody watch Prison Break? Okay, he was one of the two brothers, Dominic Purcell, right? So Purcell has hit the headlines in recent days following claims that his wife, Tish, okay, now Tish Cyrus is Miley Cyrus's mother, that Tish stole him from her estranged daughter, Noah. Noah Cyrus is Miley's younger sister of like 5, 6, 7 years or something like that. And so apparently Noah Cyrus was going out with Dominic Purcell, who's 54. So Us Weekly published a report on Tuesday claiming that Tish, 56, had stolen her husband from Dominic, 54, from Noah, 24, who was said to be seeing the actor when her mother began to pursue him. However, it has since been claimed that Miley Cyrus's sister never dated Dominic, and she's been accused by family insiders of fabricating the relationship to paint herself as a victim in her ongoing feud with Tish. So Tish and Dominic tied the knot in August of 23, but her daughter Noah and son Brayson were not at the ceremony held at Miley's home, kicking off the rumor. Meanwhile, Prison Break star Dominic had quite a colorful love life, from BDSM relationships with Anna Lynn McCord to a whirlwind romance with Jody Mears. Before his relationship with Tish, Dominic was involved in an on-again, off-again romance with Anna Lynn McCord, the former 90210 star, 36, who is 17 years Dominic's junior, has spoken openly about the relationship, which spanned 10 years from 2011 to 2020. So there you go. Which is Anna Lynn McCord from the, it's probably the new, right? The new 90210, right? I would imagine. Oh, yes, I remember her. Yes. The blonde skinny girl. Yes. I remember her. Okay, I know who she is. All right. Pretty girl. Because I did watch some of the new 90210, but I didn't know exactly what. But that's a crazy story, that the mother would take it from the daughter, but it really isn't, because the daughter and the mother have such a dysfunctional relationship that they're going to throw crap like that out there. That's pretty bad stuff, dude. That's pretty bad stuff. U2, by the way, had their 40th show at the Sphere this weekend, the final show. And set list is out. And I did this experience U2 at the Sphere 3 times during this run. So I saw 3 of the 40 shows. But the one song I used to be able to sing in every show back in the day was 40, because they would close every show with 40. And then they stopped doing it years ago. But on Saturday, on the final day of the U2 experience at the Sphere, they had their 23 song performance. The 23rd song was 40. They did Zoo Station, The Fly, Even Better Than the Real Thing, Mysterious Ways, One, Until the End of the World, Who's Gonna Ride Your Wild Horses, Trying to Throw Your Arms Around the World, All I Want Is You, Desire, Angel of Harlem, Don't Dream It's Over. So they did the Crowded House song again. That's pretty cool. Acrobat, such a good song. So Cruel, an amazing song. Ultraviolet, Love is Blindness, Elevation, Atomic City, Vertigo, Where the Streets Have No Names, With or Without You, Beautiful Day, and 40. That's pretty cool. Those of us that are U2 fanatics, the cool thing about that song 40 is that they would start it, then they would walk off stage, right? First it would be Bono, and then I think it would be Edge, and then, they one by one they will walk out and still playing whatever instruments are left in the song, and then the crowd would be singing it. And if you went to U2 concerts 20, 30 years ago, 40 years ago, you remember we'd keep singing it on our way out of the arena or stadium that we were at. Whatever it was, the crowd was singing 40. It's pretty cool. Very cool. Nothing like a U2 crowd, man. Nothing like a U2 concert, period. Not just a U2 crowd. What else do we have? Oh, by the way, the Deep Purple has finally taken out an official Smoke on the Water video. So if you're a Deep Purple fan, they have a new release coming out, a deluxe edition of their Machine Head album that's going to be released at the end of this month, March 29th. So in all of that, they in honor of that, they actually created a video for Smoke on the Water. You can go to YouTube and check it out, just in case, if you happen to be a Deep Purple fan. You can do that, ladies and gentlemen. What else do we have? Music-wise, by the way, tonight, Eagles and Steely Dan are at the Kia Center in Orlando. Steve Hackett, Genesis, is at the Steinmetz Hall in Orlando. Tonight, ZZ Top is at the Strawberry Festival in Plant City. Tomorrow, Bryan Adams at the ViStar Vet Arena in Jacksonville. Tuesday, ZZ Top is at the Florida Theater in Jacksonville. Tuesday, Bob Dylan is at Ruth Eckerd Hall in Clearwater. Wednesday, Bryan Adams is at the Amerant Bank Arena in Sunrise. Wednesday, Steve Hackett comes down here to Pompano Beach Amphitheater in Pompano, of course. Thursday, LA Guns at the Culture Room in Fort Lauderdale. So there you go. If you're a concert head, there is something for you there, ladies and gentlemen. All right, what else do you have? Remember, you can make a donation through Cash App or Venmo at Cash Big O Show. That is Cash Big O Show. And remember, you can make a Bitcoin donation there. Okay? And Bitcoin right now, 66,400. We have not hit 67 yet. So let me see what's the highest we've gone. 66,825 is the highest we've gone so far. So we haven't hit 67 yet. What else do we have here? What do we got on the chat board? Fireman says, morning, Big O, late start for me. I hope your foot is doing better. It is, my man. Thank you very much. Some people who comment on this show don't have a clue about football. They just watch the game. Yeah, it happens. I mean, but fans are like that. Some fans are, they don't really follow it, like, kind of follow it half-ass. The UK versions of the Clash Final LP is excellent compared to the watered-down US version. Okay. I should check it out one day. Let's see. Big O RIP to Charles Dekerp. Yes, Dekerp, the great character actor in many TV shows, actor in Paul Newman movies, dies recently at 87. He played the short bodyguard for Doyle Lonergan, Robert Shaw in The Sting. I remember who you're talking about. They burned down the gambling house. It died with an awful sound. Yes, it did. Yes, it did. Yeah, GP Trap. Funky Claude was running in and out. He was pulling kids out of the ground now. Yeah. Yeah. You are correct, sir. Let's see. Many fans are destroying Greer for the Wilkins hunt and other things. I told them they need to chill. Fans are going to be fans, bro. They're fanatical. They don't really think logically. That's kind of the way fans are on average. You know what I'm saying? And the way media is, it doesn't help. Okay. In everything, bro. Entertainment. There you go. The Tish Cyrus thing. There it is. There's a fake report out there. And now it's straightened out. You know what I'm saying? But it looked pretty bad early on. Like, that's pretty disgusting that she did that. You know? And it was going to be a bad look for Dominic, too, because he's like banging a 24-year-old and he's 50 something. Not a good look for him either. You know what I'm saying? And it wasn't true. And it happens in politics all the time, and it happens in sports. And part of the problem is our media too, that misinforms you, or they're misinformed and they're spewing out bad information. So, that's where I would tell you that it's just also part of the reason is our media, the way they handle things. And they just don't, because there's too much of, we need to get clicks and we need to get views and we need to come up with the sensationalistic headline and the sensationalistic story. Can you imagine wasting your time? Like what we had some fun with this morning, that apparently our boy Omar was telling people about Chris Jones. And can you imagine even wasting your time trying to write a story about that? Or you're going to waste a segment or two or an hour just to get people riled up and talk about, when there's no chance of it ever happening. Zero. It's not even realistic. And yet you're going to talk about it? And that's what happens. And then I get you guys riled up, and then I get DMs. Hey, what do you think if we go after Christian Wilkins? And I'm like, if we go after Chris Jones, I'm like, come on, dude. Come on, man. Let's go, bro. Let's use some logic here, please. Alf says Mike Evans' new contract helps in a Tyreek restructure and a Waddle extension. Evans did the Bucs a solid, only $35 million guaranteed for only 2 years of Evans. What a deal. Yeah, but he is up there, and then that's kind of hometown too. Alf, he probably was fine staying there because Baker's there now and he can finish out his career. He's had a hell of a career. He won a championship already. So, so that's also a little hometown discount too. I don't know. Does Mike Evans, Alf, have like a bunch of baby mamas like Tyreek has allegedly? Tyreek also may have a lawsuit on his hands now from attacking the thick girl. That's a weird story. Jesus, that's a weird story. If that story is true, wow, that's disturbing. You got mad because she got the best of you and you viciously went after her and you broke her leg? I still have the question of, what are you doing inviting her to your house? Okay. But I got to tell you something, bro. I'm married to a Cuban woman. Okay. If I tell my wife, oh no, honey, I met her at this appearance and she was there with her son. And so I told her, hey, no, come on over to our house. That's not going to fly with my wife. I don't know what kind of woman you're married to. Okay. But, my wife's going to say, you invited her, huh? Really? Why? Like, I don't even have the balls to even do it. Are you kidding me, bro? Why do I want that trouble? You know what I'm saying? So for the guy that allegedly has a bunch of baby mamas and, filed the divorce and everything, and he filed it, by the way. Okay. Nobody filed that by accident. You're really stupid if you believe any of that from Tyreek. I mean, it just makes him look bad by him saying, oh, I know I had to fire somebody, because they bullshit, dude. Nobody's going to file that kind of shit without your say so. You're just made up with your wife because you guys were on the brink and you thought you were getting a divorce. That's all. Who are we kidding here? Are we going to act stupid now? So this is a guy who practically files for divorce, has a bunch of baby mamas, and invites this woman over. I mean, no. It'll never happen, bro. It'll never happen in the Alzagari household that I'm going to invite a IG influencer with a explosive body to my house. Yeah, I'm not buying this. I'm not buying this at all. Sorry. So we'll see. Big O, what do you think of the Javon Holland situation and Tua's mom attacking fans on Twitter? I didn't see anything about Tua's mom. And what's the Javon Holland situation? I don't understand. What is it? Somebody fill me in. What's wrong with Javon Holland? Oh, wait a minute. I think I ran into it on Twitter that he was pissed at some fans and stuff like that and their reaction on Christian Wilkins, right? I think that's what you're talking about. Whatever, bro. He's there to defend his teammate. It is what it is. He's doing what he's supposed to do. You know, he likes Christian and he defends him. If that's what you're talking about. The Tua mom stuff, I don't know anything about that. But we have a lot of stupid people out there, you know, that attack Tua for no reason. So what can I tell you? I feel bad for the woman. She's got to stay away from those idiots. They're not going to change. So, you know, sometimes some of you ask me, or you tell me sometimes on DMs or some, you know, why are you sometimes so edgy with people? And because I've been at this for a long time, bro. And I just don't have patience anymore for stuff like that. Like I told you earlier in the show, like okay, so I'm telling you about Bitcoin. You're going to tell me, oh, it's a scam. And then when I tell you you're an idiot, you get insulted. But it's all right for you to insult me. You know? And then, because I did that with one guy. I go, so you can insult me? He goes, I didn't insult you. I go, yeah, you called it a scam. That's not an insult. I go, yeah, if you know I'm investing my money and you tell me it's a scam, you're basically telling me I'm stupid. And he looked at me and he goes, yeah, you're right. And then I told him, but the real thing is you're stupid. Not me. You're stupid. Right? Because you could have gotten in at 20 and at 25 and at 30 and at 40 and at 50 and it's at 60. Right? You could have done that, right? Yeah. Okay. So that's stupid, right? That's bad investments. Yeah. Okay. So then how am I stupid? If you listened to me and you got into Bitcoin at 20 and it got to 40 and you sold half of it, you're making money. So how am I stupid? How is it a scam? I don't understand that one. So that's where, you know, it's like, so you could do it, but I can't. Get the hell out of here. I don't have patience for this shit. I just don't anymore. I don't. And I'm not trying to please. That's one thing I've learned. You can't please everybody, and I'm not going to try. You know who I'm going to please? Me and Sean. That's it. That's all I'm worried about. Let's see. Big O, been a few months. You're looking great. Thank you, sir. We lost a couple pounds. Appreciate it. We need a lot more, but I got to get my foot back in action. Once my right foot is healthy again, then it's funny. Like now I'm dying to exercise, you know? Tyreek Hill's an amazing player, but no way I would recommend anyone to get in relationship advice from him. Yeah, definitely not. Tyreek Hill keeps dropping passes because he's out of his mind. On top of that, she's Kenny Vaccaro's sister, and he's a bad MF. He will kick Tyreek's ass. This could really bite the Dolphins in the ass. Maybe they should consider dumping Hill before the circus gets any worse. They can't do anything with Hill right now, bro. They got to ride that train for a couple more years. They got too much of a cap hit on it. Alf says it was a Tua hater that started attacking her, sending her derogatory tweets about Tua when she wished her son a happy birthday. Yeah, these assholes. Just assholes, Alf. That's all they are, bro. Losers that have nothing better to do. You're going after a player's mother. Like, how pathetic are you, bro? Seriously. You're going after a player's mother. Like, you're a coward of all, like, the highest level. You're a disgrace as a man that you're attacking a mother. Like, come on, dude. That's embarrassing. Wow. So, Tua's mom just fired back at a stupid comment. Your mom must be proud. Yeah, exactly. Exactly. She raised her son the right way. Clearly, that person wasn't raised the right way. Dougie Fresh. Oh, I told my wife that I was bringing a woman I just met over for some games. She would tell me 2-word reply, U-Haul. Exactly. That's it. My shit would be on the front lawn. Exactly. Come on, man. There's no. Have you seen her, by the way? Have you guys seen her? I think some of you have. Some of you haven't. Okay. Let me get you the, because I did put out a tweet a couple of days ago with it and some of her pictures. Let me scroll down a little bit here. Let me find it for you. Think about this, okay? I want you guys to be prepared. By the way, don't forget to hit the hell out of that like button, please. Smash that like button. Get the algorithms going, please. Please, please, please. Helps all of us here on the platform. Here we go. Okay. So this is who, think about this, okay? You invite this woman to your house. Okay? This is the woman you invite to your house. These are the pictures she takes. Okay? Whether you like thick women or not, she's going to call a ton of attention, one way or the other. Okay? One way or the other, she's going to call a ton of attention. Like, and I can see where Tyreek lost the contact part of it and fell back. Now, think about breaking that leg. You got to hit that leg hard to break that leg. That is one thick lady. But how would your wife react that you invited her to your home? Oh, my God, I'm such a dead man. Dan B., thank you for the love on the super chat. I know you were just talking about Reek's situation. What should the Finns do if true? His off-the-field stuff is making the franchise look bad. Finns always have something going on, bullygate, etc. Thoughts? Right now, Dan B., they can't do anything. They got to just pray that he can stay pretty much, disciplined enough to stay out of trouble for the next 2 years so they can then get out of the contract. That's about it. That's all I can tell you. Fiscally, they cannot get out of it. And it's not like you can trade them. You're not going to get fair compensation. And if you start acting like you got to get rid of him, you lose value in that way. And you can't. You need him. He's a monster player. So, yes, I mean, Tyreek, doesn't make the best decisions out there. He has a colorful personality. He's likable, but he has anger issues. You saw it in the boat incident in the pier. If they don't stop him twice, it gets really ugly. I don't know what he does to that guy. But you think about it, he attacks that guy. And now you hear this story about this woman. It's possible he attacked her. There was nobody there to stop him. So, I don't know, man. And you got all these problems with baby mamas and everything. And yeah, it's got to be a concern for them. And he's been in trouble since college. He doesn't know how to stay away from trouble at all. He has no idea how to do it. By the way, the great people at Cutter's Edge Pro, we got to tell you about William Quigley and Mike and all the great people at Cutter's Edge Pro. They do an amazing job telling you full landscape design. They will create an oasis, which is what you want. And if you want to take your business, your condo, HOA complex to another level, again, Cutter's Edge Pro. Or if you have your current landscaping right now, but it's a little down because you haven't been able to keep it up the right way, the maintenance is also incredibly important at Cutter's Edge Pro. Go to their Instagram page at Cutter's Edge Pro. Check it out, and you will be amazed at the work that they do, folks. Synthetic turf. If you have dogs, I'm telling you, synthetic turf is the greatest invention out there. Tree trimming and removals, landscape design, outdoor lighting, irrigation, design, build. They do it all, man. CuttersEdgePro.com, and tell them that Big O sent you. 954-472-0622. I have a Dominican wife. Her first reaction is to grab the huge butcher knife and come at me. No thanks, I'm good. Of course. Al says, as far as inviting that woman to your house and pissing off your wife, maybe, just take a chance. Maybe she won't mind. LOL. Yes, the threesome. The goal of every red-blooded man on the planet. You can always dream about, being with one, but everybody dreams about being with two. So, yeah. Yeah. But you better have an idea that she might be interested in that, because if she's not, bro, it's just going to get, your life is going to be miserable for a long, long time. Oh, I think that woman is shoplifting 2 Walmart hams. The evidence is overwhelming. Miami is the devil's playground. Let's see. Are Poupart and Kelly no longer part of the podcast? I haven't seen any of their news either way. Yeah, well, you haven't been watching for months and months and months. Yeah. Anyway, let's see. Big O, it's freaking crazy how they are going to expand the regular season to 18 games. If that's the case, 2 bye weeks you need. Yeah, I've talked about that many times. You got to have 2 bye weeks. I think my wife would say, please take him. Well, I mean, okay. It's not the worst thing in the world that could happen. Because it's not like normal wives are not say, please take him. Normal wives are just kicking your ass out, and then you're hoping she'll take you because you've been kicked out. Oh, man. I think X and Tyreek are trying to have a competition of who can have the most baby mamas. Yeah. My wife is Dominican too. No bueno for me. If I were to invite her over, of course not, bro. Of course not. That would be the death of me for sure. I could tell you that. Like, I am like dead. History in the archives. Forget it. Ohio John, thank you for the love on Venmo. Remember, Cash App or Venmo at Cash Big O Show. That is Cash Big O Show. Cash App or Venmo. Ohio John says, me and friends were wondering how the Dolphins missed so badly on Deion Jordan. Was he a guy that the front office fell in love with, combine results, and got burned? That was all Jeff Ireland. Jeff Ireland, he got better, obviously, with New Orleans at drafting. But Jeff Ireland, it's what happened there, Ohio John. He was really big on athletes. And if he saw a guy was supremely physically gifted, he felt that coaches could then convert him into a football player. And that's actually not true. Lots of guys are great athletes and never turn into great football players because they don't have the instincts. And they never develop them. And so that becomes a problem. And so for Deion Jordan, he was one of those projects for Jeff Ireland. And he did that a couple times with guys that he would draft that are really athletic but might be raw. And then he's hoping the coach would reach him and change him. And that's why they fell, or he specifically, because I know for a fact the entire draft room was not agreeing with him. They just didn't want to disagree with him. Sometimes that happens too. When the main boss wants this, What are you going to do? Tell the main boss no? No, you're wrong. Takes a lot of balls to do that. You have to be really comfortable in your skin. Example. Great example. The best example you can ever have. Okay? The Dallas Cowboys. Well, the Dallas Cowboys in the old days had Gil Brandt with Tom Landry and Tex Schramm. Okay? They ran the Cowboys. And Gil Brandt was the personnel guy. So the change comes. Jimmy Johnson takes over. They fire Tom Landry, all that. They push everybody out the door. Jimmy keeps Gil Brandt. So they're in the offseason and they're preparing for the draft. And they need a quarterback, and they've got the number 1 pick. Jimmy does not like Troy Aikman. Jimmy doesn't want Troy Aikman. Well, a lot of people in the draft room wanted Troy Aikman, but only one man had the balls to stand up on the table and say, hey, you're wrong, coach. We've got to take this. Is a generational player. We've got to take him. And it's Gil Brandt. So Jimmy at that moment could be a real king-size asshole, you know, because he was a lot of that. And he could have said, yeah, I'm not going to listen to you. But to Jimmy's credit, he deferred and he drafted Aikman. Now, Jimmy was still ignorant. He still took Steve Walsh in the supplemental draft that offseason. So he, even though he deferred and a lot of the draft people led by Gil Brandt wanted Troy Aikman, he deferred to them. He still took Steve as an insurance policy that he ended up trading because Troy ended up working out. So you have to be somebody like that, and nobody was willing to tell Ireland that at that time. Nobody was willing to stand up on a table and say, no, you cannot do this. This will set us back. I don't know who Jimmy wanted to draft, by the way, if not Troy. I know he didn't want Troy Aikman. That I know for a fact. Jimmy could be viewed completely different if he doesn't get Troy Aikman. You never know. My wife would probably change the locks in the house. That's a good one. For sure. My wife is Cuban and Puerto Rican. Just even typing about it, I'm a dead man. Oh, man. Let's see. Jeff Arnold was a horror show here. He was horrible GM for us. Done a good job in New Orleans, but the dysfunction was at an all-time high. Yeah, that's usually what happens here. We get the guy, too young and he makes all his mistakes here and then goes somewhere else and does better. Dougie Fresh. Oh, I saw you two in '87 at the Cow Palace in San Francisco, ending with 40. I've had many concert experiences and it remains number 1. There you go. I saw that concert too. That's the Joshua Tree is 87. I think. Yeah. Unforgettable Fire is like 85, 84. And then that one's like 87, I think. 86, 87 was that tour. Yeah. So there you go. All righty. All right. We thank Ira Winderman. We thank Sean Stanley, the man, the myth, the legend that masters this entire platform every single day. We thank all of you who tuned in. As always, remember, if you missed our complete breakdown of the what's it called? The Christian Wilkins situation, we did one yesterday. So you may want to listen to it because there's a lot of stuff there that I did not talk about today. Okay. And just if you're questioning it, if you don't think it's right, take some time and listen to that entire show. Listen to the entire breakdown and all the different things and all the different examples I gave you, and you'll see. On behalf of Sean Stanley, we will see you guys tomorrow. Same time, same place, same bat channel.
This is the Big O Show. This is the Big O Show. This is the